Hey everyone, I caught myself thinking that I wanted to read more, just sit down with a book and read, and then I barely did that anymore. And it's a strange thought because looking at my reading stats, I have read more books this year already than I have ever read in a year since I started tracking my reading on Goodreads in 2011. So I thought about this a little bit more. Why do I feel that I'm not reading if I had read 90 books already? And I looked at my stats. Part of it is that half of those 90 books were listened to on audiobook. The other half is evenly split between ebooks and physical books, which explains a lot because I don't really consider listening to audiobooks as sitting down to read. I consider the books read and I consider listening to audiobooks as partly reading, not the physical form, but that you have read the book, that you consume the content. But the action of sitting down and reading is not equal to walking through the park and listening to a book. And I have done a lot of the latter, walking through the park, running, listening to audiobooks because I couldn't sit still. I was restless and I was out and about a lot. But when it comes to actually sitting down with a book, I have read a lot of short books this year. I have turned to the books under 200 pages on my wish list a lot because I barely found the capacity and mind frame to sit down and read. My mind has been wandering a lot and unfocused, and sitting down for a long stretch of time after a day of work, I barely find the time. I barely find the energy, and I find that I read a page or two and I can't concentrate anymore. So most of my reading is actually only done on the weekends or when I had vacation. And I don't think that's a problem considering everything that's going on. But it does explain why I have the feeling that I'm barely reading, because during the week I actually am barely reading. I read a page or two before I go to bed. I read every day. I've always done that. And I listen to maybe an hour, maybe two of an audiobook on a weekday. But I don't sit down and read long stretches of a book after work. And I miss that. I really miss that. I know that a lot of people have problems reading this year. The mind is going places, we read different things, and we consume or understand things differently. And that is something else I thought about when I thought about my reading, that the books I read are not atypical for me or different to what I'm usually reading, but how I'm understanding or connecting to them is different. The recent read where I noticed that was Burnt Sugar. I really couldn't connect to it. I was annoyed by a lot of it. I didn't feel it. And I wasn't emotionally invested or impressed by anything in the book. And I watched reviews of other people that I know have read the book and that I trust in their thoughts about books and how they read and what they talk about books. And everything they saw in the book, I didn't. And I don't know what that is. I don't know if I just want to go away more from literary fiction again this year and stray more into genre fiction. But I don't know. I like literary fiction. But what does it say if I understand books or connect to books so differently than I usually do? Is that bad? Good? I don't even know what to think about that because I do enjoy the reading aspect. But I just sometimes wonder, why do people like this book so much? What is the deal? And I don't know if it's the book in that point or just me this year. I don't know. Let me know in comments how your reading is, if you have figured out what works for you, what doesn't, why you think your reading is how it is, and has it changed? Or is it just as usual for you? Let's talk in comments about our reading in 2020. Thank you all for watching. Bye-bye.